are you doing? I am Ingvar Thor Johansson. Thor, the Thunder God. That's right. My middle name is after a Thunder God. My username here is Sibit, and I am going to play some 5-minute chess here on chess.com. And what I did was I saw it in the rating range 1400 to 1900. And I hope that we can explain things a little better than if you're playing 3-minute games against high-rated people where you have to think a bit more about your clock. So, he is playing knight c6. Don't have to play d4 just yet. I can play knight c3 first. See what he wants. Confuse him a little bit. Make him think I'm not playing. d4. And he plays e5. This means that the position gets a different character than some Sicilian positions. I think people are playing bishop c4 here. And it's a logical move. What I did so far was just put my knights out. Knights before bishops, they usually say. Yeah, and I was hoping to address, situations where I saw some people talk about it in. I'll just play d3. I don't want to castle yet. Usually, you want to castle, but I have an idea in mind, which will probably come to. Didn't he hang his pawn? Yeah. So what I wanted to address was when you have a typical position where you can play several moves. I mean, you can identify 6 or 8 moves, but which one to choose? I mean, but that's chess. That's a typical situation. Sometimes 3 to 4 moves can be of completely equal value, and there is no magic formula. But I will try to explain my decisions. Here I'm just going to take the pawn, and it's forcing his hand because I'm threatening to take on f7 also. So I think he has to take on c4, and I will just recapture with a knight, and I won a pawn. So he just blundered right out of the opening. I thought he couldn't do that, but let's see. Knight takes f7, he can take on c4. He gets 2 pieces for the rook, because when I take on h8 he retreats the knight. If I take on f7 with check with the bishop, he goes king d8. And my knight is hanging, and it's also protecting the bishop. So that's a problem. Can I take here and go f4? Potentially, but then d6, and what do we do? So, yeah, he might be getting away with murder here. Maybe getting away with murder. 85. It feels like there should be something, but I'm spending way too much time, and I'm just going to protect this knight and put a piece out. Don't know why that took so long. Yeah, and I will meet d6 probably just with bishop b5 check. I like it. Okay, has something changed? Don't think so. Bishop takes f7, king here. I was just hanging directly, so let's play bishop b5 check. I don't want to retreat the knight because it takes on c4. And I have to take with the t-pawn, and then he can maybe take on e4. And he gets away with it. His opening play. Now I'm going to take with the knight, which was hanging. and most likely keep this bishop. We might just there's no rush to play knight d5. I can play it now. I can also play it later. Let's just castle. We'll just keep knight d5 in reserve. See a6. Now we can play knight d5, and this a6 move left the b6 square vulnerable. So now we can take on d7, and after queen takes, knight to b6 is picking up the rook on a8. So nice little tactic there. It should win the game. Want to open it up a little bit. b5. If he takes, bishop takes. It's tough for him to finish development because the bishop can't move. And f6 is a really ugly move. We'll probably just play queen h5 check, g6 and back to queen, back to e2. After this move I will retreat. Same problem, can't really finish development, and we got rook e1 check coming. So we'll just have a quick post-mortem after this game, and then start another one. Let's get the queen more active. I can play bishop b7. No, then I take on e6. I felt like there was a point to this move. I didn't know it when I played it. It's just a pattern. Can I take it? Nice. Then rook e1. How do you like that? Some tactics for you. But he's gonna get castled, or is he? I have 30 seconds. Be careful. Go here and then give him a check. And then we're gonna capture some pawns. You can play bishop f5 now to get a pawn here. And then we should be able to just run the a pawn up the board. What I'm going to take here. I'm going to pre-move this check because you can't really do anything about it. Then we're just going to run this pawn up the board. We don't have to worry about the back rank. The bishop is covering e1. We have rook e2, queen f7. He also has a back rank, and have to be quicker. Push the pawn, and it's quite okay. I'll take this pawn, but then it's quite off checkmate here. He has to play rook f7. But in general, it's good. It's good practice to make luft for your king, just in case. So we'll do that. And our next move is a7. When he has to give up the rook. And then it's just a question if I can finish the game on time. So we go here. Bishop where? Doesn't really matter. We go queen c6 either way, and then we make a queen next move. That we can pre-move. And well, we'll pick up the bishop. And we have mate on g7. We just have to, well, he can get away for a minute, but 5 seconds. 5 seconds, buddy. Oi, oi, oi. Can I make it? I don't know. Like this. I'm blowing it. And here. And checkmate. Where are you gonna go? There. With 0.6 to spare. Yeah, but not great mating technique. Yeah, but we're gonna run into some some problems if we talk this much, but the results shouldn't really matter that much. So we're just gonna have a quick postmortem, and then another game. So I just played sensible opening moves, and yeah, I mean this is a decent approach because you get to see what black wants to do. Maybe you can choose your system accordingly. When he plays d6, e6, g6, you know what he wants to do. This e5 move, then we get a completely different character of the position. Bishop c4, he has this hole here on d5, and yeah, I was expecting something like bishop e7. Here actually I think something like knight d2 is an interesting maneuver. The idea to go knight d2 to f1 to e3, and from there we can control this d5 square. Gonna have the knight on e3, the knight on c3, and the bishop on c4, all bearing down on the square. And after this we can castle. And this is a little bit extravagant because usually we finish development, but here the battle lines have been drawn a little bit early with the pawn structure, so you can allow yourself such extravagant maneuvers. But what he did was he played instead knight to a5. This is hung a pawn on e5. Then he played this queen e7 move. And yeah, I mean it looks like you can just take, but king here, and what now? If I move the knight, then the bishop is hanging. If I protect it, say with f4 or bishop f4, and d6. And gonna lose a piece. We're gonna have some compensation, but still. Also, if knight takes, you can take here. Now this knight is hanging, so I can't take back on c4. I have to take here. And now he simply retreats the knight. The question is where. I'm not sure really. Actually, all the squares look bad. This allows f4 in some lines. This might allow e5 in some lines, and this is just a bad square. So maybe even here. And then try to win this guy. G6, bishop g7, and things might not be all that clear. I do have two pawns on rook for 2 pieces, but I think we should have something better. And I played bishop f4. And yeah, here I had this, and now just a pawn up. Development is finished. Black has the king in the center still. Queen had the bishop. So we saw that the development for black was a little bit retarded. And why? Well, first of all, e5 is he compromised his structure a little bit. Then he moved the same piece twice with knight a5, which is another opening principle. And then he brought his queen out early. Granted, maybe he couldn't do anything else. Well, he can take on c4 and just play a pawn down. And probably he should rather do that. But you know, this is just too much. The knight, moving the knight twice, putting it on the rim, and moving the queen out too early, and you know, hampering the development. And this just cost the game. And this is, yeah, something you should take from this game. So let's play another one quickly. Yes, we should play another game. Oh, play another game. Yes, play another game before the Germans get here. Before the Germans get here. Hello. I'm from Scandinavia. I will speak with a Swedish accent and hippara hooty hooey. I'm seeking a game. 1400, 1900, unrated, 5 minutes. Hopefully we get a struggle that extends slightly more into the middle game than in the last game, so that we can have some more interesting decisions for you guys. Some of those middle game positions that we want to discuss. Use the force you must. The force is strong. 1457 Fenway. So he plays f4. Birds. Bird's a word. Bird's a word. What to do? You can do a number of things. What I like to do is to play c5. It's also very sensible just to play d5. And you will play the game just like if you were playing with the white pieces. So we get a knight out. And it's always a good idea to get your king castled as early as possible. So what you need to do here is to decide, do you want to go g6 and fianchetto, or do you want to go e6 and play it solid that way? I think I would like to go for e6 in this game. But before I do that, I'm going to put the bishop outside of that pawn chain. Okay, and should go e6, but I'm going to play knight bd7. It's a sensible way to develop. I might go for a quick e5, take on f3 and go e5. That's what I'm going to do. I'm sort of playing against this setup that he did there. This will guarantee us free and safe development. The bishop just comes to d6, and we are ready to get castled. It's sort of reminded me of the last game combination with reversed colors. How was that position? Okay, c6. If he castles, we might get violent with, like, I don't know, h5, queen c7, and some queenside castling. We might. I mean, queen c7 just looks like a normal move. So I think knight takes f3 and bishop takes h2. He plays h3. h5 might be possible. No. Okay, queen c7. with a very simple threat, which he has to react to. Now we have some weaknesses in the white armor. I want to attack. Let's try h5. Maybe we can stick something on g4. That's the idea with this move. Also in the future we could see black castling queenside and going g5, g4, something like that. This move, I think I'll just take on. Well, why not stick on g4 like I wanted? Pawn takes. If bishop takes, bishop h2 check, king f2, queen to g3. Yeah. You like that? I like it. And actually probably my immediate threat is bishop to a3. If he takes, then queen h2 checkmate. So h takes g4, h takes g4. Got the open h file. You know, it's just a free attack, you know. If h takes, we're gonna win the bishop back. So it's just a free attack, we're not even sacrificing stuff. He's really thinking long and hard about this. I don't blame him. Maybe he's disconnected. It would be a sad way to end this game. Sad. If you would have to, because the position is getting interesting. I would like to see it played out. Come on, make a move. Make a move, you must. Make a move, you must. Nope. Probably he just got disconnected. Yeah. But okay, let's analyze this game and see what can be done there. Okay, let's flip the board, and we played d5. Yeah, so here you have to select to go with like g6 development schemes, where you go g6, bishop g7, or if you want to play e6, and if you do that, it's quite sensible to go here. You might even not go knight f6 immediately and play bishop g4 right away. And the idea of this is to get e5 in as quickly as possible. And that's what happened. Bishop b2, bishop d6. I mean, why not retreat the knight? Well, because we can get the bishop out protecting the knight, and you know, development is what we want in the opening, so that's what I did. Knight c3. Attacking the pawn. It's possible to take on f3 and castle, but c6 just looks so solid. That's what I did. The castles, queen c7 also looks quite natural. Threatening knight takes f3. This move and taking. So he played h3. I think, it seems like he's forced to weaken himself here. The other option is g3, but then we have a hook for the attack. We can play h4 and try and open him up. So he played h3, h5, and he played d4 and got disconnected here. And it seems to me that this is just fine. Pawn takes, pawn takes. What to do? Well, first of all, if the bishop retreats, it's going to end in some kind of violence. If king here, we have checkmate. If king h1, we can probably go to f4, and then e3, and we have checkmate again. So what can he do? If he takes on g4, bishop h2 again, and king h1 is probably going to be a similar fate after bishop f4, so king here, but now we have this move, and we can take bishop, we have equal material, but can we do this? Probably we can. If rook f2 we take here with check, if king like here, we can again take this bishop and we're a pawn up. This king is pretty bad and we just have a free attack. So I think he was in big trouble in the final position. I kind of want to play one more game because we only have like games lasting up to 10 moves. Once again, we just want sensible development. I don't want to explain our decisions. So let's see what this guy has in mind. Starting the game would be a yeah, man, hey, come on, man. Start the game, man. Yeah. Wouldn't mind if he started the game. Yeah, it'd be great if you could start the game. What's going on? Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. We'll import this. I can't be waiting forever for a guy to regain his pulse. So we'll seek again. And what's going on? What's going on? My challenge has been accepted. Knight defend. What to do now? Let's keep it sensible. And we have the Spanish. Bishop a4, knight to f6. Short castle, this is all theory. All centered around this e5 pawn. White attacks it. Black defends it indirectly. And now d3. Okay. b5 seems like a sensible move. And short castle. So since he's putting no pressure on e1 with rook e1, on e5, sorry, with rook e1, I think I'm just gonna play d5. Seems sensible, since she allows it. We're gonna do it. And he's gonna give up the bishop pair, so we're just gonna get nice development here. We're gonna put the bishop on b7, and the rooks naturally belong on the central files, like rook e8 and rook to d8. Now this move, okay, he's neglecting development. He's yet to develop these pieces, and this d4 move is gonna leave him with an isolated queen pawn here, which is going to be difficult to defend. And I'm thinking here, the most natural move for him next is knight c3. So before I go bishop b7, I think I might go b4, just to prevent him from doing that. And I like this battery with the queen and the bishop and this diagonal, so I'd like to keep it. So I at least gain this move here. Yeah, maybe this was not the best move in the world that I did there. I didn't keep it sensible. Okay, but what about rook d8? Pawn takes, knight takes here. Just gonna go after this pawn. Because after I win this, maybe this is a sitting duck, but I'm not sure. Should have just gone bishop g4, finished development instead of this b4 move. It was a bit extravagant, perhaps. Okay, I'm just gonna go bishop b7. My knight is probably gonna be fine here on b4. Just play something like queen h5. But now I have a weakness as well, this c7 pawn. It's not really attacked. It's probably easier for me to defend it, but I compromised my pawn structure a little bit with this b4 move since he had a3. Would have been ideal for me to have a5, but my rook was hanging. So you can't have everything in life. Might have a move like c5 coming up, but it also might simplify the position a bit too much. I really don't want the queen trade. So can I put it like here? g3 or just go to h3. It's not a very good square. Go to this square, because on the other square queen b3 can put some pressure on this f7 point that I left undefended. So I like this better. Also perhaps ideas of knight c2 in some lines. Okay, at least we now have a more interesting middle game. So we have some choices. Excellent choices. Okay, we can quickly dismiss a choice like f6 because of tactical reasons. Queen b3. And there are some problems here potentially. I might be able to interpose, but it's not what I like. c5 is always a possibility. I think I might do that. Because this pawn is a little bit vulnerable. I'm attacking it, it's pinned, can't move forward. And if I take bishop takes, maybe bishop c5 puts further pressure on this piece. And while he's distracted with his pawn, maybe I can make something happen on this diagonal. I'm definitely better here. I have the bishop here, the position is wide open. Maybe we can make something happen now. Bishop takes f3, pawn takes f3. Maybe just bishop takes f3, pawn takes, and knight into d3. When he moves the rook, we can take on d4. But this, yeah, now just take on d4. And there's nothing, he's just losing a piece. Which we will take. So now it's just take care of our clock. You know, just keep everything stabilized and safe. Having the bishop here takes care of the back rank, also keeps this knight here on b4 protected. Don't have to worry about that. Maybe I had knight d3 there. We would like to exchange pieces. I don't want back rank problems, so just take this. And let's make the Luft right now. And we shouldn't have any problems. Next step is probably to put pressure on the b2 pawn. How can we do that? We can put the rook on b8. And simply move our knight away. So we've done the hard work, but we still have to finish the game. And let's play rook b8. Doesn't seem to have any dangerous knight moves. Knight d5 we just exchange. Knight e4 isn't really going anywhere. There's no reason really to let him off the hook, so I'm gonna play here. I'm not gonna give him this pawn, and if rook here, then knight to d3. Well, then he has knight e4, so maybe just bishop d4. Okay, he prevents everything. Okay, let's try to win this b2 pawn. I have to speed up. Playing way too slow. Attack something. He attacks something in turn. I could have taken after with check. So I'm way too slow here. But do have rook d8 coming. Doesn't really do anything. Okay, exchanges. Now we have the pre-move our king into the center of the board. He attacks us. King defends. Then king comes. Okay. But I'm pretty quick and bullet, so I should be able to finish this. I have to pre-move here. There's no. No time for talking. Just grabbing the rest of the pawns with the knight. And let's just take this. We're gonna make some queens. Currently 2. And from here, the queens, if they move like this, it's gonna be checkmate. So it's gonna be checkmate here no matter what it does. So it's a good pattern to know that the queens 2 files apart, they're gonna make a checkmate. Just giving him a good game. So a quick look at this game, which turned out to be the most interesting, at least middle game wise. You know, we had some decisions, so let's have a look. And I'm going to flip the board. He played e4, and I decided to go out of my comfort zone. I don't usually play this. So my theory here is not up to date. So d3 is not the most common move. Main theory is rook e1, b5, bishop b3, and I'm sure you've seen countless games like this. He played d3, which also protects this e4 pawn. But maybe you, in the main lines, what usually is going rook e1, c3, and d4 in one move. So maybe this loses a little bit of time. And after d3 I went b5, castled. Maybe d6 was another option. Perhaps intending to go knight e5, trying to pick up the bishop pair. And after c3 I thought he hadn't gone rook e1, so probably I have time for d5. He could go rook e1 here, when we can either protect with bishop f6, we can go bishop g4 pinning, or even just sacrifice a pawn in martial attack style, but probably just defend it. But he took on d5, which I don't think is a good move. He's just giving up the bishop pair, and we're gonna have the bishops probably in a wide open position. One thing that, okay, he played d4, so otherwise we have ideas like rook d8 attacking his d3 pawn. So I went d4, which means that he's gonna be saddled with this isolated queen pawn, and yeah, it's probably going to be fairly easy to attack it. We already have two pieces attacking it, and we can add these two quite easy. And perhaps this move was a little bit too fancy. Maybe just bishop g4, but I somehow like it here on the long diagonal, but this might be okay. We can give him a bad structure here already if he plays knight c3. Yeah, he has some problems. If d5, probably knight e5. And he has big problems because we have all our pieces bearing down on this knight, and he's not going to be able to defend. We're going to take the knight and get the mating attack on the light squares. So b4 was probably not the best move that I chose there. So we have some choices here. Bishop g4, probably bishop b7 is fine. We're just gonna go. We don't have to worry about this pawn coming to d5. We can just attack it. He's probably gonna lose it here right away. We have three attackers: the queen, the knight, and the bishop. And we can add one if we want with rook d8, but it's just gonna fall. So I really dislike b4. Okay, we did it, and he went to a3, rook d8, attacking the pawn. He defended the pawn. Again, plenty of choices here, but I think we have more or less, lots of moves that are of equal value, so you just have to pick one. I went here. He defended the pawn, bishop e7. He took it, and now finally knight c3 and queen to h5. The knight went to e5. I didn't want a queen trade, and queen f5 seems like the most sensible square. Otherwise, you can have pressure on f7. Rook c1, c5. It didn't do anything about the pin, so why not utilize it? Everything is developed, so we need to start doing something, and this pawn looks like something that we can attack. So c5, knight to f3, and usually we don't like giving up the bishop pair if we don't have to, but here we get immediate pressure on the d4 pawn. As he played it with queen takes f3, we won a piece, but if he takes with the pawn, probably the same thing is going to happen. I can make another piece, attack this with bishop f6, but my original intention was to play this move, and if the rook moves, we have c takes d4, winning a piece, because we're attacking two pieces. And you can't really pin this knight because I have the Swiss and Zouk queen g6 check. King has to move. And then we can take either the rook or just go here. Probably the rook. Here, rook d1. Not b4. We can take here. Yeah, I'm not sure. Context d4, rook d1. No. What's going on? We take here, of course, because we add an extra defender to this knight with the rook, so we win the piece rather than the exchange. So, yeah, but after queen takes f3, I mean, he's just losing the piece. I take the queen and then take on d4. He's losing the piece, and at this point it was just a matter of finishing the game on time. And managed to do that. So okay, I hope this video was beneficial to you. I think we had some situation where we had chances and could explain the moves a little more than in the other blitz video. And I sure hope you liked it. See you later. Bye bye.